What is the secret to an amazing ending? If you want to leave your audience on the best note that you can, then it all comes down to something we call the aftermath. And in this lesson, we're exploring what the aftermath is, how to make sure it builds off the rest of your story, and 3 common variations of this phase that you can start using right now. Let's get into it. This video is a lesson from a full free mega course on our website. If you're ready to supercharge your storytelling, click the link in the description and start your journey today. This video is also part of a series, so if you haven't watched the previous videos, there are links down below. The aftermath is the 15th and final step of USL, and it is a phase, meaning it may last multiple scenes. Most times the aftermath is relatively concise, but it all depends on the complexity of your story. The point of this phase is to show the protag after their journey, including what has changed, how everyone is feeling, and to resolve any loose ends. It is not uncommon to have a time jump between the story climax and the aftermath. You can see this in Legally Blonde when we fast forward to Elle's graduation. This is because the change caused by the journey may take some time to take effect. If there was a huge battle, we may need time to just clean up. And if the protags have reached a destination, we may need time for them to return home. When we do reach the aftermath, we want to see how the protag is doing after their big success or big failure at the story climax. What is their life like now? How do they feel after their journey? These are questions your audience is probably going to want to know. And if there are any loose ends, we should tie them up here. The most common type of loose end is a subplot, especially a romantic one, which we'll cover shortly. But the most important part of the aftermath is change. And this is what will link your aftermath to the rest of your story and build off everything you've set up so far. Your protag has overcome their flaw by embracing their need and achieved their goal. Those are 2 huge changes right there. The external change of achieving the goal and the internal change of embracing the need. The aftermath should, on some level, address both of these changes and how they've rippled out through the protag's life. We should not only see how the protag has changed, but how their environment has changed alongside them. In Love, Simon, we watched protag Simon come out on a popular local website. In the aftermath, we see how his journey has changed the world around him, as now more and more students are admitting their secrets online. This helps emphasize why the journey mattered, and your protag will be a lot more heroic if their journey mattered to not only them, but to the world around them. Now, let's look at 3 common variations of the aftermath that you can use right now. If your protag helped save their community, their country, or their world, the aftermath will often showcase an awards ceremony. Here, the protag will likely get a medal, a trophy, an award, or some other form of recognition. You can see this clearly in Mulan and in Star Wars Episode 4. This is also common in sports or competition movies, as the protag is often competing for a trophy or prize. You can see this in The Karate Kid when protag Daniel wins the trophy in the aftermath. The second variation is similar but different. This type of aftermath showcases a celebration. The most common type is a dance party, which you've probably seen everywhere, including Shrek, Beetlejuice, and Mulan. If the story is a musical, this may also be the big song and dance to close things off, which is often celebratory, like in High School Musical or in Grease. Some movies just end with a big dance number, like Slumdog Millionaire or RRR. And other times, it just shows the characters celebrating, like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, when the Toons cheer and sing a song together. The last variation we'll cover is the resolution of a romantic subplot. Most of the time, the protag achieves their goal, heads off into the waiting arms of the love interest, and the 2 kiss to show the audience they are together now. For examples, see Bridesmaids, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, or the toned-down hand-holding in the Lego Movie. This will sometimes happen in the final plan, like in Juno, but by and large, this moment is saved for the aftermath. There's one more aftermath variation, but it only happens in stories with a sequel. This is the open-ended setup ending. Here, things still aren't resolved fully, and there's a hint at more to come. You can see this in 21 Jump Street or in The Hunger Games. But not every movie with a sequel ends this way. See Shrek as an example. In this type of aftermath, you want to leave the audience curious about what will happen next to these characters. This could be putting an image in the audience's head, like in 21 Jump Street, or a warning of future conflict, like in The Hunger Games. And lastly, in movies, sometimes the aftermath is omitted, like in The Full Monty, and other times it is pushed into the credits, like in The Proposal. In novels, a similar technique can be pulled off with an epilogue. If you've seen any stories that end before the aftermath or use interesting techniques like the ones we just listed, tell us about them in the comments. You should now have a good understanding of the aftermath, including what it is, how it can build off the rest of your story, and a few common variations you can use right now. But if you're not yet done with the aftermath, the extended version of this lesson covers why the aftermath is so important, a super useful technique to highlight everything that has changed, and then showcases the aftermath in action with an in-depth example of the 1994 action drama Leon the Professional. See you there.